Alright, it's finally time to go check out the Halo 2 Anniversary PC flight. Wait, what's happening? Oh no, not this again. Poor level design, uninteresting story. Oh my god, how? Yes, okay, so apparently Halo 2, probably the Halo game that has the best story, and my and many other people's opinions, apparently is uninteresting. That complex, two-sided story that you can just see on the side of the UNSC, side of the Arbiter, the Great Schism, apparently all those characters, super bland. Uninteresting enemies, dated gameplay. Oh, yes, the game that refined the first one, Halo CE, which was the revolutionary console title that revolutionized how FPSs were made on console. Apparently, it's already dated in the second installment. Okay. Unbalanced weapons, sluggish controls, only 30 frames per second. Some poor multiplayer maps. I beg to differ. Those were all problems of the first, and so far it doesn't look like much has changed. Okay, well apparently there's no difference between Halo CE and Halo 2. In fact, I would dare to say that those two are they're just the same game. While Halo 2 has some new features, it still features dated gameplay and uninteresting enemies, story, and levels. Granted, I don't think this game truly deserves a 0, and here we have, just like the last video, and just like how on every single game ever made of all time, there are at least people that go in, see people giving it high reviews because, you know, they actually like the game, and then say this game doesn't deserve a 0, but they're giving it to balance out the score. And it's like, why don't you just give it the score you actually want? Because, like I said in my last video, Microsoft did not go out paying every single person who played the game to leave a good review, and if people leave a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10 on this game, for one, how does it affect you? And for two, it's probably because they actually like the game. Anyways, now that I'm done ranting, let's continue on. But it is very far from the greatness of the first Halo Combat Evolved. Considering the unsatisfying storyline, I will literally fight anyone to the death that says Halo 2 has a bad story, because it has the best story, and I already explained why, so I don't have to do it again. The poor implementation of Xbox Live. Okay, so apparently the implementation of Xbox Live, which Halo 2 launched, by the way, the implementation, or creation rather, of the Party Up system, custom games, all that. Terrible implementation, apparently. The game that revolutionized online gaming for console and PC. Apparently, no, it sucks. Or the removal of much of the skill elements. And then again, we have another person who knows nothing about the franchise. Because Halo 2 is the most competitive, sweaty Halo game you will ever see, with the button combos, with the pro scene. I mean, that's really, Halo and Halo 2 is where that esports genre, you know, started to grow out its roots, was with those two games, especially Halo 2, and still to this day, you have tryhard Halo 2 players who use all these button combos, know all these secret jumps, all this type of stuff, and it's just crazy, and it's probably the Halo game that takes the most skill out of all of them, and again, proves that you have no idea what you're talking about. Too often, firefights become two people circulating each other with twin SMGs. Then you're not playing the game right. It is enough for it to earn the title of Halo 2 Combat Devolved. And the title I would grant you is Eric Human Devolved. Great presentation. Unfortunately, this game is simply a sequel to an already bland game. Maybe if Halo 1 wasn't like a million other video games. Oh yes, Halo 1, Halo CE, the revolutionary title, was just like every other FPS that came before it. I mean, obviously. I mean, how could you not see that? Improving an engine and making better graphics is what every single sequel does. Let's try something original for once. Okay, let me get this straight. Are you saying that it's bad for a video game to improve on its predecessor? Do you want the sequel to look worse than Combat Evolved? Because, I mean, I don't think you would. I mean, if you went from playing, like, say, Double Dash, and then all of a sudden they released Mario Kart Wii a couple years later, and then it looked like Mario Kart 64 again, no one would be happy. So what are you trying to say? Overall, it's a waste of money unless you're a die-hard fan. Well, I'm probably gonna go die after reading this comment. Halo 2 is one of the best games of all time, so why did I give it a 2? To understand Halo 2, you must become the 2. Without the 2, you won't get the 2, you know? They call it Halo 2 because you get 2 guns on this one. Yeah, totally not because it's a sequel. One for each arm. Combat Evolved was a very poor spin-off, and ODST didn't live up to the hype to be a true successor. Play this one only because it's the only good one. As a Halo 3 fanboy, I will beat you up. Just to remember, you gotta be the 2 to get the 2, and if you ain't the 2, you can't 2 the 2. You 2? I think my brain just died. I don't think I have any more brain cells left. Help me, this comment is actually mind-boggling. After completing the game, I found that this game is no different than the first. Oh really, another one of these guys. Because there are no improvements over the original gameplay, and the fact that they're being lazy and saying that Halo 2 is all about multiplayer, this game deserves a big 2. So, what? Okay, we're at that point, just like in the last video, where I'd say it's a good point for you to go grab some popcorn, grab a snack, drink a soda, drink a Game Fuel, I don't know, but anyways, we are getting into 2 very long reviews. I agree with Sea Tunnel. Who the fuck is that? This game is not near worth the hype it is getting. I just played it for about 2 hours at my friend's house, both single player and multiplayer, so apparently you can judge Halo 2 or any game with your expert critiquing skills, might I add, in only 2 hours. And keep this in mind, me, a Halo fan, and I know I play Halo more than people usually do because I'm like a big Halo fan or whatever, but I play Halo for about anywhere from 3 to 5 hours at every other night or every night, and you're saying that you can judge this whole game in 2 hours, less than half of my usual playtime? I mean, seriously? You're telling me that you had time to explore all of the multiplayer modes and the entire campaign to figure out that it's trash? Take a hike. And there is nothing great about this game. It is identical to any other decent FPS out there, so then shouldn't this game be decent? By your standards? I mean, Jesus Christ, you're making it seem like it should be. Why are you talking down on it? The multiplayer requires no brains or strategy, because you would know from playing the multiplayer for probably around less than an hour. And all you do is jump around and blast your SMG. Well, there is this thing called a battle rifle, there's this thing called picking up a sniper rifle, there's this thing called button combos, strategy, crouch jumps, I mean, all this stuff that you're just glossing over because you have no idea about anything Halo. The capabilities of the player are so limited, and it's hard to try and do anything smart. Ask any competitive Halo 2 player, and they will gladly explain to you how wrong you are. All you can do is run, jump, and crouch, which looks simple on the surface, but hard to master. Wow, that's amazing! The maps are god-awful. I will find you. And the mechanics of the sword are horrible. Okay, at this point, I just think that you hate fun, because the H2 sword is the best sword. I mean, look at sword flying. Or just using the sword in general. How can you say that that's not fun? I played a swords-only match and it was the most boring experience of my life. Probably because you suck, so get good. There is no variety in what will happen. Probably because you're only using a sword. You just run up to the guy and try and hit him first because you're using a sword. Wow, that's fun. If you really want a good FPS, get Call of Duty. And that right there is what makes me want to punch my monitor that you would say Call of Duty is superior to Halo. I will find you, and I will force you to play the game for more than 2 hours. Oh dear lord, here we go. Rarely does a game come along and absolutely blow our wildest expectations away. Well, this game is one of them. And boy, did it blow them away in the darkest voids of our universe. Oh god, here we go. Someone who's going to use all these big words because they think it's going to make them sound smart when they sound like a complete idiot because they're not using them right at all. Good god, what happened? Let me emphasize one inherent flaw plaguing the Halo 2 single-player campaign. Okay, well, it is one of those stuck-up people who use big words to try and make themselves look smart. The level design. Good grief. You'd think the most acclaimed console game of just about all time would demonstrate aptitude in level design prowess. But no. Every stinking, dirt-ridden, crap-spewing level I was forced to endure not only had the gall to be long, but also unnecessarily repetitive. Now, I would understand this argument if you were talking about Halo Combat Evolved, but we're talking about Halo 2, and there is definitely a lot of variety in there. Maybe when you get to the Arbiter missions, they're kinda repetitive, but also not really, and they're not, like, repetitive in a bad sense, kinda like Halo Combat Evolved. I have no idea what you're talking about, and also, have you heard the saying that sometimes it's not good to sound too academic, because it just makes you look like a moron? Because I certainly have, and, well, it's helped me improve a lot in my grammatical skills. If you can survive the single player, then you are either brain dead or a devout Halo fanboy. Okay, well, I guess I'm brain dead. Sorry everyone who's played and loved Halo 2, I guess we're all brain dead, I mean, or both. I guess one implies the other, doesn't it? As for graphics, screenshots don't do the graphics in games much justice as they should. Screenshots look amazing. The in-game graphics look like they were constructed by soggy, non-fat milk cartons straight from the dumpster. That is, Jesus Christ. Okay, these people make me so mad. The type of people that are so stuck up and think everything they say just flies. Like this guy, I bet if you get him, like, meet him in real life, he's just, like, stuck up with glasses and, like, touches his nose or sniffles every couple of seconds. Like, one of those people, you know. And did I mention they were melded together using fecal matter? What? Okay, let me get this straight. So the graphics were constructed by soggy, non-fat milk cartons from the dumpster and welded together using fecal matter. Not only does this not make sense, it also sounds really fucking stupid. And that they- oh wait, no, it continues. And that they were constructed by traumatized children without hands, covered in bloodthirsty bees, and screaming in absolute pain. Oh my god. You know, for one, Halo 2 has pretty good graphics for the time being, I would say. For 2, Jesus Christ, you're taking it way over the top. Music is equivalent to the vilest blasphemy of the 80s. I will murder you with a stick if you ever say that Halo 2 has a bad soundtrack. I will absolutely, like, throw your house into the 5th dimension. I will yeet you out of existence. Halo 1, despite its mediocrity in the gameplay department, had an excellent soundtrack. Then how do you not like the soundtrack for this game? Oh my... Jesus. Multiplayer. From a person who's used to the convenience of online PC gaming, Xbox Live was a catastrophe of monumental proportions. Apparently the party system and matchmaking system being created, apparently those systems that are still relevant, Jesus, like, what, 16, almost 16 years later? Apparently those are bad, guys. I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you, but apparently those are bad. No server browser? Croak. No server browser? Dual wielding, in my opinion, was utterly useless. Not really. I mean, maybe multiplayer, but not campaign. It was super cool. I mean, what's wrong with them adding a feature like that? How could you sacrifice the user? Then don't dual wield! Melee attacks are oddly awkward in this iteration. I mean, they're different, but they're cool because you can lunge further. And the new shield system encourages cowardice. And the original game didn't. You always had to go duck and find cover and wait for your shields to recharge. Now, it just recharges your health too. So that way, you don't have to go scouring around looking for health packs all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't realized by now, I hate Halo 2 with all my heart. Just like how I hate you. And I absolutely hate how such an overrated game with virtually no talent behind it can get so much recognition and support than other very deserving games. The Halo fanboys are reading this going, OMG, what the fuck, barbecue, you is a total lying lols. OMG, what the fuck, barbecue? Yes, that is exactly what I thought while reading this. Okay. Seriously, step back from your ignorant delusion and begin to look at this game that you've been blindly and fanatically supporting for so long. Like how this review came out like 2 months after, not even 2 months after Halo 2 came out, so apparently people have been fanboying for Halo 2 for... Jesus. Anyways, Halo 2 is an amazing game. I'm really enjoying the PC flight. Expect some content on it coming soon, some epic funnies, and also expect in the near future to see a video like this for Halo 3. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for Halo 3's bad reviews.